Hi Reddit. Long time lurker, first time poster, so please be kind. I honestly can't believe I'm writing this, but my brain is fried right now, and I need outside perspective. So, I, 29F, am getting married next month to my fiancé, Adam, 31M. We've been together for 5 years, engaged for one. Our relationship has been stable, happy, comfortable, exactly the kind of partnership I always dreamed about. Adam is calm, dependable, the kind of guy who remembers to bring extra snacks on road trips and never forgets to water the plants. He's not super flashy, not the grand romantic gesture type, but I've always considered that a good thing. Then there's my best friend, Josh, 30M. We've been friends since college, bonded over terrible cafeteria coffee and mutual hatred of 8 a.m. lectures. He's been there for every major life event since my first serious breakup, graduating, moving to a new city, starting my first job. He's funny, sarcastic, the kind of person who can make a whole room laugh without even trying. Adam and Josh get along fine, and Josh has always been nothing but supportive of my relationship. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. I sent out my wedding invitations months ago, but Josh had been traveling abroad for work and only just got back. I was thrilled he could come. Honestly, I couldn't imagine getting married without him there. We grabbed drinks last Friday to catch up. It started out normal, swapping stories, me venting about wedding planning stress. Seriously, no one warned me how brutal seating charts are. Then Josh got quiet. Like, uncharacteristically quiet. After a long pause, he just blurts out, "I'm in love with you." I laughed at first because I thought he was joking. But he wasn't. He looked me dead in the eye and said he's been in love with me for years, that he never said anything because he didn't want to ruin our friendship, but watching me get engaged made him realize he couldn't keep it in anymore. He said he's been miserable pretending to just be the best friend. I just sat there like an idiot. I think I said something brilliant like, he asked if I had ever thought about us as more than friends. I told him no, that I loved him but only as a friend, and I was marrying Adam. He nodded, paid for our drinks, and left. I went home that night feeling like the floor had tilted sideways. I didn't tell Adam right away, because I didn't even know how to explain what happened. Over the next couple of days, Josh barely responded to texts. Then yesterday, he sent me a message saying he wasn't sure if he could come to the wedding because it would be too hard. And now I'm spiraling. On one hand, I get it. If the roles were reversed, it would hurt to watch someone you love marry someone else. On the other hand, he's my best friend. He's supposed to be there. The idea of him not coming feels like a punch to the gut. Adam has noticed I'm distracted, and I finally told him what happened last night. He was quiet for a long time, then said he trusts me, but he doesn't really want Josh at the wedding if it's going to cause drama. I don't even know what to do. Do I push Josh to come for my sake? Respect his boundaries and let him skip it? Try to talk Adam into being okay with it? I feel like no matter what I choose, someone gets hurt. And here's the part that's messing me up more than I want to admit. A tiny part of me keeps wondering what would have happened if Josh had told me sooner. I love Adam. I want to marry him. But now I'm lying awake at 2 a.m. thinking about every road trip, every late night talk, every time Josh and I shared headphones on the bus home from campus. Was there something there I missed? I don't know if this is just pre-wedding jitters or if I'm about to ruin my own life. TLDR *, my best friend confessed he's in love with me 2 weeks before my wedding. He might not come now. My fiancé is uncomfortable with him being there. I don't know what to do, and my brain is soup. Edit/update, same night. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the comments and DMs. I'm reading through as many as I can. Some of you are saying to cut Josh off completely. Some are saying I should reconsider my engagement. Some are sharing really sweet stories about similar situations working out. I texted Josh asking if we could talk in person tomorrow. He said yes. My stomach is in knots. Adam is being very calm about this, which is honestly making me feel worse. He just hugged me and said, "Whatever you decide, I'm here." Like, why is he being perfect right now? I kind of want him to be mad, so I could feel less guilty. Anyway, I'll update after I talk to Josh. I feel like that conversation might decide everything. Update 2 *. Okay, So here's part 2 as promised. Buckle up, because this conversation with Josh was not what I expected at all. I met him at our usual coffee shop. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes, hair a mess, like he hadn't been sleeping. We sat in awkward silence for a minute until I finally said, "So, you dropped quite the bomb on me." He gave this weak little laugh and said, "Yeah, sorry about that." I asked him straight up why he told me now. He said he didn't plan to, but when we were catching up, he just couldn't hold it in anymore. He said it's been eating him alive, that every time we hang out he feels like he's lying to himself. And then he said the part that really hit me. If I didn't tell you, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. I told him I was confused, that I loved Adam and wanted to marry him, but his confession made me start questioning things I thought were settled. Josh just nodded and said he expected that he didn't want me to blow up my life, but he also couldn't sit in the front row of my wedding pretending he wasn't in love with me. I started crying right there in the coffee shop. Shout out to the barista, who wordlessly brought me extra napkins. I asked if this meant he wasn't coming to the wedding at all. He said he didn't know. He said he wanted to be there for me, but he also wanted to protect himself. Then he asked me something that threw me completely. If there was no Adam, would you want to be with me? I didn't answer right away. I honestly didn't know what to say. I told him I couldn't play the what-if game because Adam does exist, and I love him. Josh nodded again, but I could tell he was hurt. He said he needed some space to figure out if he could still be in my life. I went home feeling like I'd been hollowed out. Adam was waiting for me. I told him everything, word for word. He listened quietly, then asked, "Do you have feelings for Josh?" I froze. Because here's the thing, I don't know anymore. I told him I care about Josh, but I chose Adam for a reason. He said, "That's not really an answer." We ended up having a huge fight. Not yelling, but those quiet, scary fights where every word lands heavy. Adam said he felt like I was emotionally cheating on him just by entertaining the idea of what if. I said I didn't ask for this, that I was just trying to process it all. He said maybe we should postpone the wedding until I figure things out. Postpone the wedding. I think my heart actually stopped when he said that. I asked if that's what he wanted, and he said he wanted me to marry him without doubts, that he'd rather wait than start our marriage with a question mark hanging over us. I spent all night staring at the ceiling thinking about everything. My phone kept lighting up with texts from my maid of honor asking about last-minute wedding stuff, and all I could think was, I might not even have a wedding to plan anymore. Then, at 3 a.m., Josh texted me, "Whatever happens, I love you. That won't change." I haven't replied. Now I feel completely paralyzed. If I tell Josh not to come, I might lose him forever. If I push him to come, Adam might resent me for it. If I postpone the wedding, my family will flip out. My mom already paid the caterer in full. And if I ignore all of this and just go through with it, will I regret it every time I look at Josh? I know Reddit loves a dramatic story, but I feel like I'm living one, and I just want to crawl under a blanket and disappear. How do you even know if you're with the right person when there's someone else you care about so much? TLDR * talked to Josh. He confirmed he's in love with me, but doesn't want to wreck my life. Adam suggested postponing the wedding until I figure things out. I feel like my entire future is on pause. Edit * reading through comments again. A lot of you are saying postponing might be the healthiest choice, that rushing into a wedding with all this turmoil isn't fair to anyone. Others are saying if I really loved Adam, this wouldn't even be a question. That one hurts, but maybe you're right. Adam and I are going to talk again tonight. I think this is the conversation that decides everything. I'll update after. Final update *. Okay Reddit, deep breath. Here's part 3. This will probably be my last post unless something wild happens years down the road. I had the big conversation with Adam, and I finally made a choice. Adam came home from work last night, and we sat down on the couch. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. He asked if I'd figured out what I wanted. I said I wasn't 100% sure about anything except that I didn't want to hurt him. He said, "That's not enough to marry me." And he was right. We talked for hours. He said he could see I was torn up inside and that he didn't want to start our marriage feeling like second place in my head. He also said something that gutted me. If you love me the way I love you, you wouldn't have to think this hard. I cried so hard I thought I'd throw up. I told him I did love him, but that Josh's confession cracked open something I didn't even know was there. Adam held my hand and said, "Then you owe it to yourself to figure out what that is. I'll be okay." We decided to postpone the wedding. Not cancel, postpone. No new date. Just time. When Adam went to bed, I sat in the kitchen until sunrise. My phone was in my hand the whole time. I finally texted Josh asking if we could talk that morning. He showed up at my apartment looking like he hadn't slept either. I told him everything, that Adam and I were taking a step back, that I needed clarity before I could move forward with anyone. Josh didn't say anything for a long time, then said, "So does this mean?" And I cut him off. I said, "It means I need time. Alone." He looked devastated but nodded. He said he'd wait if that's what I wanted, but he wouldn't pressure me. Before he left, he hugged me so tightly, I thought I'd break. And then he whispered, "No matter what, I'm glad I told you." The past week has been the strangest of my life. My apartment is quiet without Adam here. He's staying with a friend. My wedding dress is hanging in my closet like some kind of ghost. My mom cried when I told her, then told me she was proud of me for not just going through with it to avoid embarrassment. I've been journaling, going on long walks, and honestly sitting with my feelings in a way I never have before. And here's the wild part. The longer I sit with them, the more I realize that what I feel for Josh isn't just platonic. It never was. I think I buried it because it felt safer to be with someone steady like Adam. So 2 days ago, I called Adam. I told him I loved him, but I couldn't marry him. Not now, not ever, because a part of me would always wonder about Josh. He was quiet for a long time, then just said, "Thank you for being honest." I asked if we could stay in touch someday, and he said maybe, but not for a long time. Then he hung up. I don't think I've ever cried as hard as I did after that call. But when I told Josh, he came over right away. We didn't kiss or jump into anything. We just sat on the couch holding hands for hours. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. We agreed to take things slow. No rushing, no labels yet. I want to make sure I'm choosing him because it's right, not just because he was there when everything fell apart. So that's where I am now. Single, technically. Not planning a wedding. Scared out of my mind, but weirdly relieved. My life looks nothing like it did a month ago, but I hope, I'm moving towards something real. Thank you, Reddit, for being my sounding board through the wildest month of my life. You convinced me to slow down and be honest with myself. I don't know if Josh and I will end up together forever, but I know I'm finally being honest about what I want. TLDR *, postponed wedding turned into a breakup. I ended things with Adam because I couldn't marry him while wondering about Josh. Josh and I are taking things slow and seeing where it goes. Heartbroken but hopeful.